Hello YouTube, this is Robert Brizendine5 here with a EDH deck tech. I have a Teysa Orzhov Scion deck. She's a pretty decent token generator. She's from Guild Pact. She lets you sacrifice 3 white creatures and remove target creature from the game, and then when another black creature you control is put into the graveyard from play, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying into play. It's pretty convenient with there's some recursion engines in here, so you can pretty much just dump creatures of your own free will and just get them back, like using a couple things I have in here. So let's start off with the mana base. Oh, a little bit off screen here. Got an Isolated Chapel, the Orzhov Basilica, Sajuri Step. I'm not using too many expensive cards. This is kind of a work in progress. Kabera Crossroads. I got a couple cycle lands, like Polluted Mire. I think that's the only cycle land. I got a Bojuga Bog for some graveyard hate. Got a Ebon Stronghold. You can sacrifice it and use it to pump out 2 black. So, of course, Mishra's Factory can't fail. It's an original. And then I use the Scars fetch lands because they aren't color specific. You can have them all in basically, or as many as you need in, and because they all fetch up either a plains or a swamp, I can use them. So that's kind of handy. So I got all the panoramas here. What's that one? That's the Grixis Panorama, Jund Panorama, Esper Panorama. I put in this to help get back some artifacts. It's an interesting card. This is good for sacrificing and getting your mana back. There's Bant Panorama. Phyrexia's Core for artifacts. Of course, I have so many copies of this card. Of course, a Reliquary Tower, kind of one of the main staples. This is, I don't really use its ability, but it is just kind of a fun card. The Orzhov Church of Deals, Mystifying Maze for getting rid of some creatures, and then I have 8 plains and 8 swamps. That might be too close, but okay. For artifacts, mana fixers. Let's see. I've got of course, a Coalition Relic. It's a good handy card. A Mind Stone. Oops. And I just dropped my Colony Gem. Yeah. There we go. We got a Dark Steel Ingot. This is good. I use this for. I have a Phylactery Lich in here. This is a good target for it. So, I got a Chimeric Mass. It's just a fun card. Solemn Simulacrum. Here's kind of like what I call my part of my mean suite, as it were. I've got the Rack, the Black Vice, and I just got this in a trade. Iron Maiden, punishing people for having more than 4 cards, punishing people for going below 4 cards, and things like that. So it's when a person's taking, like, especially if they have a Reliquary Tower in play and they're taking, say, like 6 damage a turn because they want to hold on to their cards. It's kind of cruel, but it's fun. So what's this? This is a new one. I just put this in to see how it would work. Just the fact that you can make your guys get all strong and then get rid of some of their cards is kind of cool. Got the Trepanation Blade, of course, Lightning Greaves. Grappling Hook is good, especially with some beefy creatures. Get them double strike. Sword of Feast and Famine, Scythe of the Wretched. Take creatures from people and put them on your side. Got a nice foily Nim Death Mantle. Of course, a Skull Clamp. Nooses Engine for generating tokens to feed to the Skull Clamp for card draw. And then this is a Library of Leng. It lets you Instead of discarding cards to your graveyard when forced to, you can discard them to the top of your library if you want. If it's a card you want to hold on to. Elixir of Immortality, Eldrazi Temple, or Monument, I'm sorry. Norn's Annex, because I don't have a Ghostly Prison. So it's kind of a, poor man's Ghostly Prison. Keening Stone, it's a good EDH card. And Sculpting Steel for, if someone's got an artifact you want, or for copying my Vice, my Rack, my Iron Maiden, my Darksteel Ingot, things like that. So, and then I've got a Zendikar Sorin Markov. Now this is kind of a mean card. I don't like to use the second ability. It's kind of a dickhead move, but this deck isn't meant to be too nice. So got a Liliana Vess from the dual decks, I think it is. It's a foily. Karn Liberated. It's just a cool planeswalker. Got an Elspeth Knight Errant. It's the one from the dual decks. Nice and foily. This is my favorite one. I like Elspeth. You can generate more tokens too for card draw, and then you can just beef your creatures up and make everything invincible or indestructible. Pardon me. It's late at night, and I came in here, so my wife is watching the Grey's Anatomy, and I didn't feel like having my brain sucked out of my eyes. So here we have the Orzhov Guild Mage. He's fun. You can gain life or take life away from people in general. So he's kind of cool, and he's a hybrid. So you can do whatever. Vectus Dominator, tap down. And basically, if they don't want to have it tapped, person has to pay 2 life. Got Souls of the Faultless. This is a cool card. It's a wall basically. Whenever Souls of the Faultless is dealt combat damage, you gain that much life. An attacking player loses that much life. It's a cool card. An Agent of Masks. It's also from Guild Pact. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. It's kind of a cool card. It's mean, but this deck's all about being mean. Have a Zealous Persecution, just buff up some creatures, and go on to white. Oh, pardon me. Oh. Got a Swords Plowshares, of course, main EDH staple. I don't use my actual Swords Plowshares because they're old and I don't want to damage them. So I got a couple dual decks ones. Silence, self-explanatory. Path, self-explanatory. Phyrexian Rebirth. This is just a cool card as a board wiper. So cool, and you can wipe the board and basically get a monster creature. And well, you kind of got to hope and pray they don't have any answer for it, but it's still a cool board wiper. Of course, Planar Cleansing. Castle's cool. Gives all my untapped creatures +0/+3, so it makes them a little bit stronger in the butt, so they can stick around longer. O-Ring from Shards. Yeah. Journey of Nowhere. What's that? Unquestioned Authority. Give my creatures protection from creatures. It's a good card. Got the Admonition Angel. Basically the O-Ring on a stick type thing. Good card. Usually gets taken out pretty quick, though. Got a Battle Grace Angel. This is cool. Kithkin. She can't be blocked by creatures with power greater than 2. So you can... She's basically an unblockable creature because there's mostly big creatures. Equip a Sword of Feast and Famine to her or something else, buff her up. Hit her with Elspeth, make her 5/5, so that's, damage getting all the way through. Hoping they don't have tokens to block. Who's that? Commander Isha? She's a legendary creature. She's got protection from creatures. It's a cool card. Valor. Usually end up dumping this into my graveyard right away. Gives my creatures first strike if he's in the graveyard. So, okay, on to black. We've got an old Terror. Simulacrum. You can redirect damage from you to one of your creatures just to stick in the game a little bit longer. Of course, we got a Tutor. We got the Demonic Tutor here. Beacon of Unrest, retrieve stuff. Got a Soul Exchange. This is cool. You can sacrifice a creature but remove it from the game. instead of putting it in the graveyard. That take creature from your... It's a return creature card. I don't have any thralls in here, though. If I had a random, like a Basil Thrall or something like that, or whatever it was, sacrifice him, and you can bring a creature back with a +2/+2 counter on it. So... Oh, here's one of my favorite cards, because hardly anyone's ever heard of this card, and it's a nice little shiny card. It's called Choice of Damnations. You basically tell a person to pick a number, and you can either have them lose that much life or lose all but that many permanents. I've had cases where a person would say 1, and I would say, okay, well, sacrifice all of your permanents except 1. So it's kind of mean, but you know, when it resolves, it's pretty fun. Diabolic Tutor, self-explanatory. Here we got a Ashes to Ashes, good removal card. One of my favorites, actually. Got a Leyline of the Void. Great card. That was my phone. Painful Quandary, punishing people. Like I said, this deck is kind of mean. Phyrexian Reclamation. Pay 1 and 1 black mana and 2 life to bring creatures from the graveyard. I had a Johnny Goldmane in here at one point, but I ended up trading them all off to help counterbalance the loss of life. But there's some lifelink stuff in here, so it's okay. Necromancy, you can use it to take things from other people's graveyards. Hypnotic Spectre, you know, make people discard. Same thing with this one, Order of Yawgmoth. It's got Intimidation. It's got Ob Nixilis the Fallen. He's just a mean beat stick that does oodles of damage when you bring land into play. Sheldred the Whispering one. It's a good card for retrieval of returning cards to your hand or the battlefield. Great for creatures. Phylactery Lich. Best 5/5 for 3 mana. You know, of course, you got to tutor up a Darksteel Ingot beforehand if you want to keep him around. So, or if you've let Elspeth's ability or ultimate ability to resolve, then you can pretty much target whatever you want, and he'll stay and play longer because you can put phylactery counters on everything. Got a Reaper of Sheldred. I just thought it was a really cool creature card, and it's nice and shiny. And then a Thought Picker Witch. This is cool. This is from Ravnica. For 1 mana, and you get a... Granted, she's not much of a creature, but you can sacrifice a creature, look at the top 2 cards of target opponent's hands, and then remove one of them from the game. So you can sacrifice tokens to basically get rid of people's cards. So it's cool. So that's it. That's my Teysa Orzhov Scion deck. Please feel free to give me suggestions and give me your snark, and you know, let me know what you think about it. You can be mean about it. It does not bother me. Suggestions are definitely welcome, though. But in the meantime, I hope everyone has a great night. I'm going to upload this and check out some trade binders. So, alrighty, have a good night.